To talk more about the struggle heroine's legacy, we're joined by Environmental Affairs Minister Edna Molewa. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you today, Minister. I mean, in the last few hours, you've spoken to radio stations about what you believe Winnie Madikizela-Mandela remains, or why she remains such a great role model for black women. Just expand on that idea for us, please.
You know, I actually believe, let me start there, that Mama Madikizela-Mandela is actually the major reason why, of course together with others, why we have so many women in leadership positions here in South Africa. Remember, we're actually one of the leading countries. Up until now, recently, we're just slightly bypassed by Rwanda. But, you know, the fact that she gave so many of us confidence, leading us by example, but also nurturing us and actually also encouraging us to get educated. She just didn't say, this is political education that I'm giving you, stand up and fight for your country. But she also said it is important for you to go to school and learn. She liked education. She really had cherished that. The fact that she was the first social worker does tell a lot. And she said, it's not me alone who's got to be in this position, but all of you should do so. The young generation, young and old, she has actually mentored so much. I mean, I've been personally in her own house, where with Gwen Mahlangu, where we found particular Holomisa there one evening, cooking for all of us, but very jovial mood, and actually saying that whilst I'm encouraging you to actually get into, she was, you know, instigating us and encouraging us to participate in the struggle and fight for our own country, but at the same time, she then said, do formal education. So many young generation have been nurtured by her, mentored by her. Even when I worked with her in Parliament, it was when perhaps I should not even go to Parliament first. There's one event that I will not forget. When she was, we're at an event of FEDRO, Federation of Transvaal Women. Many people do not speak about that element of her in FEDRO. She was with Mema Bart, the late Mema Bart, Francis Bart. And I remember Mema Bart sitting there and saying, you know what, you are a younger generation. You should actually be getting more sophisticated than us, because you are now facing the bazookas and the hippos and what, which we didn't have during our struggle days. And, you know, it was firebrand, and she was really fireworks. She was with Peter Mugaba. In Parliament, she really led us by example again, beautiful as ever. I mean, just as a woman, just that you should walk tall, feel confident, and be yourself. Nobody else is you. You know, that kind of a thing, the spirit that we got from her, and of course many others. And you know, in Parliament she would then encourage us that we came here to make people's lives better, to actually make changes in people's lives. Don't forget the mission of why we're here. And actually, in policies, she would critically look at every implementation of every policy. You remember why she was removed from government. It was when she even spoke against her own government which she was in, never scared to say anything about where she sees policy not going correct in the right way. So this is a real example of a woman. And I think we have so much to learn from her. We have so much to actually take forward. South Africa must never regress as we have done right now. In the African National Congress, of course, we have one woman, Jessie Duarte. She's powerful. She's probably equals to 5 men or so, her alone. But yes, we need to get more and more of a caliber. And I think all of us, young generation, should then say, we want to be where Winnie Mandela was, so that no policy of the African National Congress doesn't get implemented in government and by government. If there's a deviation, we must be the voice of the people on the ground to push that those policies must actually happen, like in the free education, this thing. I think she really would be sleeping very nice, lying very nice, thinking that and knowing very well that one of the policies that come from Freedom Charter have actually now been realized, which is really a cornerstone of what she wanted to see us as a nation going towards.
Let me ask you about this, Minister. Well, what do you make of what seemed to be Mam Winnie's belief that detrimental compromises were made in order to enter into the democratic dispensation?
Of course, yes, that's Mama Winnie for you. She never compromised. I think it has also had to do with the kind of tough life that she had to face. A person who has gone through that difficult life, of course many others did, but hers I think I've been in solitary confinement myself, but I don't think I'm anything compared to what she was exposed to. We were given amenities at least a little bit here and there, but having been toughened like that, made like a rock, you know, just to be more resilient, would naturally just, you know, make one not even to want to compromise. That's understood. And there are many who are like that. She felt that way, and probably for the right reasons, that we don't have to give in to these people who have been battering us, who have been not doing such good things to us. So, yes, I think there were those elements, but the reality also is that, you know, in the African National Congress as a ruling party, we have to also help one another to understand and how to navigate this road. Perhaps we may not have easily come as far as we have now, yet we just, you know, stuck on no compromises at all. Perhaps there couldn't have been this moment right now. Maybe it could have come, but come in a better way. We don't know. But yes, indeed, she was. That's her. She was much more exposed to more difficulty than all of us. I think mainly, you know, many people.
I mean, you've said some interesting things about believing that Winnie Madikizela-Mandela didn't receive the recognition she deserved while she was alive. And it seems that even by parts of the African National Congress, she remains misunderstood, if indeed that is a perspective to look at. I mean, we look at the comments that former President Thabo Mbeki made about her yesterday. Do you think that parts of your own party still misunderstand what she was about?
I actually think that, let me start with the issue of recognition. Look, the entire world, and I'm sure if America was around the corner, would have half of the people from that country here to come and pay their last respect. I'm sure many people in Britain, the Scandinavian countries and so forth, our former friends there, they would be here. So she was fully recognized and observed. Her participation was quite recognized worldwide. In kind, yes, recently she has received some awards internationally, which she went to receive. The Women's League itself has actually honored her and actually did such a beautiful birthday, which was, once again, very beautiful, like a small girl, so to speak. So, yes, I think there could have been better and more recognition. She was given, you know, a recognition in the African National Congress of being one of the stalwarts, you know, the usual recognition that's been given by the president. She was one of those, one of our stalwarts. And indeed, I think to an extent that people could, yes, we have. But I think we probably should have understood her a bit better, and we could have understood her a bit better in terms of working together, because some of the policies are actually shaped by the tougher and harsher voices, shaped better. And we need those voices like hers. I don't think it's quite an issue of not quite understanding it, but just listening a little bit better, more better, so that even those tougher voices, let me just quote an example of what I mean. I'm talking about the issue about women's struggles, for instance, the fact that there are so many women who are still being battered out there. She has voiced those views, and not just voiced them for the sake of talking, but she has been even amongst people where a woman is battered, where a child is being abused and so forth. She has been there. It is probably good that we have laws that we have right now, but probably harsher sentences could have come in place back then at the time. Not only that, issues like land, for instance, where she actually has been voicing that rural women need to do things for themselves, and therefore they need land. We need property rights and so forth and so forth. We are now moving a different direction. Probably that if we had listened a bit better back then a few years ago, maybe we would have moved a little bit faster. If she was here, I'm sure she would be helping us to navigate this issue about land that we are talking about.
Thank you.